Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. We have a wild card Sunday slate that we have to talk about. 3 games on this slate, very entertaining teams, 6 great playoff teams, and a lot of fun lineups that we can build. The pricing on this slate is different from the 6-game slate. So for those of you who are playing the tournaments or cash games on the 6-game slate, I broke that down in Best Buys, smizzle.tv/Best Buys on ESPN. It's actually like the top thing on ESPN, right? On ESPN Fantasy. It's like the first article there. All it took was everybody else who creates content at ESPN to not create content for ESPN Fantasy, and then I get the #1 spot. Mama, we made it. We're there. So if you want that, it's there. I recorded with Daniel Dopp and Mike Clay the 06010 CSS DFS podcast this morning. That will be up a little bit later today. It is Thursday when I'm recording this. And that will be live as well. So if you want all of our takes for the 6-game slate, it's on there. We're going to focus on the 3-game Wild Card Sunday on Draftkings right here. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Let's get to the video. Let's go.
He's a legend.
Before we get started, they have filled that mitten. If you watch the other couple videos we did, Underdog Fantasy, smizzle.tv/underdog, or just use promo code ALSMIZZLE, all one word, at checkout, and you get up to $100 deposit bonus. So if you are a depositor, you use ALSMIZZLE or go through smizzle.tv/underdog, you get $100 match. So if you deposit 100, they give you an extra 100 that you can spend on anything on the site, whether it's pick'ems or playoff best balls. The gauntlet's probably going to fill. They filled 3 of the $5 mittens. These are like best ball tournament for the playoffs only. So you draft a 10 round against 6 teams. You got to advance through it in order to have players around. The big mitten at $250 for you big ballers is still there as well. They also have plenty of pick'em, NHL, NBA, whatever floats your boat. They got a game for you to play for it. And with best ball season basically starting now for the 2022 season, get yourself set up on Underdog Fantasy. Taking a look at the Fantasy Labs Vegas page. This is a free page. Just go hover over NFL and then down to Vegas. That'll take you to this one. It updates constantly and in real time. We'll see that this total kind of came down a lot. So this total for Buccaneers and Philadelphia came down 3.5 points from open, and it basically started yesterday where the Bucs total came down from like 28.5 to 27.5. Interesting to see what's going to happen there. We also have some injury news that we're going to talk about in a little bit in terms of that game and possibly in terms of the Pittsburgh game on top of that. Dallas, this looks like the most tasty, most stackable game on the board. And then obviously Kansas City in the nightcap going up against Pittsburgh, who Ben Roethlisberger took to a press conference yesterday and said, we don't even belong here, guys. We're just going to come on out and see what we can do. So whole lot of fun in that spot, and a lot of people probably going to be stacking KC and Pittsburgh. The most popular game stack, as I said before, is going to be Dallas and San Francisco. Whether you're going to do it through DAC doubles, and look, normal stacking rules are in play but need to be altered for a shorter slate. This slate, much like the Christmas Day slate, the Thanksgiving Day slate, you do want to correlate your lineups. You are also going to want to allow a little bit of differentiation. What I mean when I say that is it's okay for a running back to end up on the same team that has a quarterback stack. I know on a full slate, we normally try to get away from doing that because we're going to try and leverage off of a really highly played running back to get ourselves onto a double stack in the pass game is going to be less held, but everything is going to be amped up in terms of the ownership percentages for this slate. Dak Prescott is in a clearly really great spot. Again, when he plays at home this year, he has done a whole lot better than the games that he's played when he's been on the road. He's also been on fire the last 3 games with 12 touchdown passes over the last 3. You can see here the personification of efficiency, not volume, leading to quarterback scoring, throwing the ball only 27 times against Philadelphia in Week 18. And totaling 31.8 points because the touchdown passes are where all the money lies for the quarterbacks. As I said, much better at home than he has been on the road. Super small sample size, very anecdotal, not very sticky from year to year. But when he plays at Jera World, he has been a lot better. And San Francisco's defense is fine, but is not totally thrilling. Jimmy G is going to play. They've been susceptible through the air. I don't know if I want to buy into like Jimmy unless you're saying, you know, I need to get away from some stuff and get away from some salary to afford some differentiation by paying up somewhere. But I don't know if you need to do it on this slate because the pricing is somewhat friendly where you go like with a Dak stack. And as I said, going with like the passing options that they have for Dallas alone, CeeDee Lamb healthy, but like priced way down from where he's been. 7,200, 74, 72, 71, 7,000, 76 in week 11. We have not seen a $6,300 CeeDee Lamb since week 5. And it just, he hasn't been in this price range. So like we're getting a massive discount on this particular slate if you wanted to use CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper sitting kind of where his price has been. The big value play right now that I think a lot of people are going to go with for Dallas is Cedric Wilson at 4,300. Stepping into a high volume of snaps and routes role in the place of Michael Gallup, who went down. The most consistent player right now in this passing game has been Dalton Schultz. He's 5K. Looking at the other side of the ball, if you want to pay up to go get George Kittle, his price is way down from where it's been recently. 6,900, 75, 74, 71, 5,800 for George Kittle feels like a steal in a game where they should have to pass to keep up. Same thing can be said for Brandon Ayuk at 5,200. Deebo Samuel at 79 seems like a fair price, but also priced way down from where he was. They've made it very easy to fit all of the players on this slate. And Elijah Mitchell, assuming health, anytime he's been healthy for like the second half of the season, 20 plus carries, plus possible involvement in the passing game in games where they've played from behind. When they play from ahead, they tend to play bully ball and keep away and just try and run the clock and run the ball and don't snap it until like the play clock hits 1. Assuming that they're going to be playing from behind, are going to have to throttle up a little bit. Dallas, being the fastest pace of play team remaining in the playoffs, is going to put San Francisco in a position where they're going to have to, or where they're going to get more offensive opportunities because of how fast Dallas plays. And 2, if they play from behind, they're going to be throwing and not passing, which means more plays on top of that. So doubly good things for the San Francisco offense. Philly against Tampa Bay. Rob Gronkowski at 6,400 seems like an absolute steal considering everything that's been vacated from Antonio Brown's targets to Chris Godwin's targets. And as they say on the 06010 podcast, trust is a very strong word, but Tom Brady throws the ball to the players that he trusts. And right now, the only options that he has remaining are Rob Gronkowski at 6,400, Mike Evans at 7,000, who limited participant on Wednesday. I assume that he's going to play. And then the question mark of Leonard Fournette, and will he be able to play or will he play a full complement of snaps here in the first round of the playoffs? If he does, 5,600 is an absurd price for him. He's way too cheap and probably should be in a lot of lineups and will correlate well with Tom Brady, who we know has 25 to 35 point upside anytime that he takes the field. Although Philadelphia has been very tough against opposing pass games, specifically on the outside, but considering that they're a little bit softer in the middle against tight ends and running backs, that fits right into what Tampa Bay has been doing when both Fournette and Gronkowski have been healthy. Jalen Hurts does look like a great value valve for us this week with his rushing ability, the fact that they're going to have to put points on the board, the do-or-die nature of the playoffs. Yes, they played Tampa Bay once this year. No, he did not put up a lot of great numbers through the air, but did make up for it on the ground with 26 Draftkings points. One of the better values at tight end on the entire 6-game slate and specifically to this 3-game slate is Dallas Goedert at 4,400, who's seen a very solid amount of volume, but it may get overlooked on this slate. Because I don't think people are going to open up the flex for tight end, and I think that they should, particularly on this slate. And people just aren't going to use those wide receivers. With all the talent that there is on Dallas, San Francisco, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay, the Philadelphia players are going to be very underplayed, including Devonta Smith in tournaments, who I think has great touchdown upside, but is very boomer bust in his own right. Pittsburgh, as I said, is basically taking you know what, we're not supposed to be here, so let's go try and ruin somebody's season. Deontay Johnson has 10 targets, way more than he has less than 10 targets. They should theoretically be in pass game scripts for this game. The other high volume play on this team is Harris, who has been fantastic on and off this season, but this is another spot where if they can't score touchdowns and they're not getting inside the 5 carries, if Ben can't make it work with what's left of the arm hanging off of his right shoulder, that's going to be a whole other story. And then Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, really, really solid all season long, has been spectacular the last month and a half of the season, with multiple touchdowns in every game since week 13 against Denver. Denver, one of the better defenses in the league. Fangio did a great job defensively, couldn't get it together offensively, but really frustrated opponents' offenses all season. Tyreek Hill at 7,300 looks like a possible game-breaking steal. Looking at the tight end spot, Travis Kelce at 6,700 seems more fair. I'd rather pay for Gronkowski at his price than Travis Kelce at his, but as I said, I'll probably be opening up the flex spot. And then the wild card on this slate right now is Juju Smith-Schuster, who returned to practice, might be activated. They have nothing left to lose. If he wants to play, they might just let him play, and he's 3K and could open up a ton of value on the slate if he's there. Take a look over at Al Smizzle Fantasy Football, smizzle.tv/FF. All my season-long stuff is going to exist over there. And if you're still watching at this point in the video, I appreciate you being here. Drop a like on this video, subscribe to this channel, and then go over to Al Smizzle Fantasy Football. Smizzle.tv/FF will take you there. Or, you can just get there if you go to my channel. All the links for my multiple channels. Shut up! Shut up! Stop it. You stop. All the other links to all my other channels, the More Al Smizzle channel, Al Smizzle Fantasy Football, and Al Smizzle Games are all there. So thank you guys for watching throughout the DFS season. And I have a great host of off-season content that I'm going to be producing on basically all of these other 3 channels. So make sure that you go drop a sub on them as well if you want that other content. Going over to Fantasy Labs, we have their optimizer, smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. We can set our rules. I'm probably not going to utilize a lot of the other rules because I don't think that we have to on the shorter slates. I'm going to make sure that I have correlation from my first spot here. I'm not going to disallow running backs. Captain Morgan, thank you very much for the 27 months. I'm not going to disallow quarterbacks to end up with their running back. I'm not going to force a secondary stack. It'll happen naturally. I'm also not going to make it so that the defense can't play against opponents because it's a short slate. You can leave that at 0 if you want. For the sake of this video, I'm going to put it there. And it never just takes one thing, but we can come over here and run this with 150 lineups. Go check out the great tools and products that they have over at fantasylabs.com. Support the people that support this channel, and I appreciate you guys being here all season long. So best of luck on Saturday, Sunday, the 6-game slate, the Monday night showdown slate, and all of it. And best of luck to your teams in the playoffs as well. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.